All right, so today we're going to do a camera comparison between the Google Pixel 6 and the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. You can get both options for around the same price. So for those of you wondering how they stack up in terms of photo and video, that's what we're going to take a look at here today. So really quick, let's talk specs. The Pixel 6 is using a dual camera setup on the rear, featuring a 50 megapixel main camera and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. So you're not getting a telephoto camera. So if that's something that you're looking for, you will have to go for the Google Pixel 6 Pro, which I can say the telephoto camera on the Pixel 6 Pro is fantastic. On the Pixel 6, you're getting up to 7 times digital zoom, but it's basically a crop of the main camera, so it's not going to be as detailed as an actual telephoto. You're also getting an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. As far as video, you have 4K up to 60 frames per second using the rear camera and 1080p 30 frames per second using the front camera. Moving over to the S21, you're getting a triple camera setup on the rear, featuring a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 12 megapixel wide angle camera, and an 8 megapixel telephoto camera. And then you also have a 32 megapixel front facing camera. So right off the bat, one advantage that you have with the S21 is that telephoto camera, which offers up to 30 times zoom. As far as video, you have 4K 60 on the rear and 4K 60 on the front. So let's start off comparing the front facing cameras. So both of these shots are using the portrait mode, which blurs out the background to give you that dramatic look. So you can definitely see that the Pixel softens the image a little bit more to give you more of a flattering look. And I also like how my skin tone looks on the Pixel 6 compared to the S21. It just looks a bit more true to life in my opinion. So here's another example, and this is just using the regular mode instead of the portrait mode. And again, I do like the image on the Pixel 6 a little bit better. I like the colors, and there's a bit more contrast as well. Now, there are adjustments that we could make to the S21 to get a similar result. But if we're just talking a pull out your phone, point and shoot scenario, I am leaning towards what I see on the Pixel 6. Now let's go ahead and switch over and do a video comparison using the front facing cameras. Keep in mind that the S21 FE does have the advantage here with 4K 60, while the Pixel 6 is limited to 1080p at 30 frames per second. All right, so this is a selfie camera test. We have the Samsung S21 FE and the Google Pixel 6. And I will switch between the audio on both cameras because I do have the speech enhancement feature on the Google Pixel 6, which is supposed to, help reduce background noise and focus in on the voice a little bit better. So hopefully this is a good comparison. Help you guys, see the differences in the image quality and the differences in the audio as far as how the microphone is picking up my voice. So as far as video quality using the front facing cameras, clear advantage on the S21. The image quality is a lot sharper, and overall it just looks better than the Pixel 6. Here we have a shot using both ultra wide cameras. So instantly you can see that the S21 does have a slightly wider field of view, so you're able to capture more in the shot. Aside from that, you will notice that the shadows are a bit more emphasized on the S21, which you can really notice once you take a closer look at this structure. Both ultra wide cameras are 12 megapixels, so as far as the overall image quality, not really any huge differences. Now here we have pretty much the same shot, but using the main cameras. So on the surface, not really any huge differences here either. I think they both look great. But keep in mind that the main camera on the Pixel 6 is 50 megapixels compared to the 12 megapixels of the S21. So if we punch into this structure, here you can see that the image holds up a lot better on the Pixel 6 compared to the S21. And we're able to see a lot more detail, especially with the words. So on the S21, keep in mind that we have that telephoto camera, which offers you up to 3 times optical zoom. On the Pixel 6, you have 2 times digital zoom, which is basically just a crop of that main camera, which is not going to offer quite as much detail. So if we zoom into this statue, you can see it looks way better on the S21 compared to the Pixel 6. So on the Pixel 6, you have up to 7 times digital zoom using the main camera. So both of these shots were taken at 7 times digital zoom. So I do like the colors on the Pixel 6, specifically the sky, but since the S21 FE has the advantage of a telephoto, it obviously takes the cake as far as image quality. And then you have the option to take things even further with up to 30 times digital zoom. So when it comes to taking pictures of very colorful subjects, I do like the colors on the S21 a little bit better. There seems to be more saturation and a little bit more pop to the image. Now again, there are adjustments that you can make on the Pixel 6 to get a similar result, but we're just talking from a strictly point and shoot perspective. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some nighttime shots. So one thing I really like about the Pixel 6 is that it keeps the shadows nice and dark to maintain that dramatic nighttime look. You can see that the S21 lifts the shadows a little bit more, and as a result, there's not as much contrast. So that's pretty much what you're going to see when you compare nighttime photos between these two. So in general, I do lean towards the Pixel 6 in terms of nighttime photography. Now let's take a look at some video footage using the main cameras. So both of these are 4K 60 frames per second with standard stabilization. I do think the stabilization on the S21 performs a little bit better, and I personally prefer the image quality of the S21 compared to the Pixel 6. I think it's a little bit sharper and has more detail. Now here we have an example using steady shot on the S21 and active stabilization on the Pixel 6, which are the highest stabilization settings. Keep in mind that both phones will downgrade to 1080p when you use these settings. So again, in this example, I prefer the S21. I think the image looks better. The Pixel 6 looks a little too soft in my personal opinion. So that's my video on the camera setups of the Google Pixel 6 and the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. Obviously, all of this is going to come down to personal preference, but hopefully this video will help you make an informed decision based on what it is that you like and what you prefer. So if you're interested in grabbing either of these phones, make sure you check out the affiliate links down in the description. It does help support the channel anytime you make purchases using those links, and it's at no extra cost to you. Also, if you found this video to be helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up as well as subscribe to the channel. And you can follow me on social media to stay up to date on all the products that I'm checking out. So thank you for watching this video as well as all the others. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.